Hello and welcome to my channel. Today we're going to build the ultimate version of the Regeneration Effect Farm. For people who are unaware, Regeneration Effect Farms are farms that take advantage of the abilities of axolotls in order to generate vast amounts of regeneration effect for the player. If you want to know more about the basics on this, I suggest you watch my previous videos on the subject. But in a nutshell, whenever the player delivers the fatal blow to an aquatic mob targeted by an axolotl, the axolotl shares a few seconds of regeneration. Like here. I got a few seconds of regeneration. The effect stacks, so the more axolotls you have watching one single mob, the more regeneration you will get when you kill it. Now we have 40 axolotls in this pod. Let's see how it compares with the few seconds we had earlier. We just got 3 minutes of regeneration effect with just one mob. And you can use a trident killer to kill the mobs. One of the mobs that are targetable by axolotls is the Guardian. While my previous farms used squid, glow squid, or drowned, or even fish in order to harvest the regeneration effect, today's farm will be built over an ocean monument. And as you will see, it is as tiny and easy to build as a simple witch hut farm. What made this farm possible was a crucial discovery by Qeleriey. Huge thanks to them, this farm would never have seen the light of day without them. Prior to the DM they sent me, I had attempted to build regen farms over ocean monuments in order to take advantage of Guardians' high spawning rates to boost the regeneration yields. However, my prototypes never worked due to the fact Guardians would attack and kill the axolotls. This is an example of what I did. And you will see the laser from the Guardian Eye being emitted, attacking the axolotls. And the more Guardians you have, the more likely you are to lose a few axolotls to the attacks. What Qeleriey did was discovering that Guardians had a minimum attack range of 4 blocks under which they do not attack any mobs. So let's see that. If I place the axolotls on the other side here, less than 4 blocks from the Guardians will not be able to attack the axolotls. Let's stop the trident killer so that you can see the lasers not being emitted by the Guardian because the axolotls are too close. So Qeleriey built a prototype and sent it to me. The farm I will show you today is a direct descendant of that prototype. Now, without further ado, let's see how to build it. The build is very simple. All you need to do is to single out one spawning spot in an ocean monument. You will find a link in the description in order to help you do that. Once you have your spots singled out, the spots are marked by the pink concrete here. Once you have your spot singled out, we will take advantage of the weird spawning properties of Guardians in order to make them spawn into a single set spot. You see, contrarily to all other mobs in the game, Guardians have the ability to spawn even when there are solid blocks to the north and or west sides of their spawning spots, such as this example here. If I put the game into hard mode, you will see Guardians spawn here, like they did. No other mob would have been able to spawn in that spot, even without the water. If there are full solid blocks, like in this case here, they will spawn outside of their normal range, which would have been inside of the water here, and to the northwest here, like they did earlier. But if there are only blocks that allow them to spawn in terms of height, they will gently spawn inside of a predetermined 1x1 square that can be defined by the player. So here we have an example. We have two trapdoors which allow guardians to spawn in terms of height, and here we have two solid blocks. And normally the guardians should spawn right in the middle here instead of northwest corner and stay there gently. So let's verify that. Here. So all we have left to do here is to add a couple of tridents to this side here and activate the piston in order to kill efficiently the guardians with the trident killer. A word of warning though, this setup is directional. According to my testing, the trapdoors need to be aligned with the arches making the entrance of the ocean monument. Here you can see the arches. They are placed along the north-south axis. If they are placed along this axis, so must be your trapdoors. Like so. Otherwise, your guardians will not spawn properly. Here we have an example of this directionality. The trapdoors are placed along the east-west axis instead of north-south, and you will see what happens here. As you probably saw, the guardians spawned to the left here instead of spawning right in the center here. And this allowed one to escape from the device. So this is directional. So now let's see how to build it. We'll build it on this corner here because it's easy to see which axis are the arches below here. So let's start by placing a few blocks, destroying this block here and placing a few blocks along this line here. On this side we will have our axolotls. Here and here are our trapdoors for the spawning spot. Here we need one empty block, and here we place our axolotl pod. On this side here we'll have our item sorter. So let's replace this block here with ice. Here I used blue ice, but you could use regular ice. And let's place a few blocks above as well. Let's place some temporary blocks to the sides here to verify that everything is in order. Okay. Now let's place few water streams by placing first one water source here and another one onto this trapdoor here, and then another one here. Now let's start building our sorter. This should be easy. You probably know a design or two. So this is actually the hardest part of the farm. It should be 6 blocks wide. Here, the hardest part is done. So now what's left to do is place the AFK spot and the trident killer. The AFK spot, we will place it at the end of this water stream here so that we can collect the XP. So right after your last hopper here, place a block of ice with a button on top of it, and replace this block here with soul sand. Now the spawning spot here is at y equals 60. So actually the spawning occurs at y equals 61. So our AFK spot must be around 84 here. Let's verify that spawns are properly occurring. First, let's place a roof here. Yes, we have guardians spawning properly. So now let's place our axolotls. And to place axolotls easily, what I do is place a fence post here and then target the side of the wall here. We'll place 40 axolotls. Here we have our 40 axolotls. Now let's make the bubble column here. And let's do the trident killer here. You can place on this side or this side, whichever you want. Like so. Now let's throw 2 tridents enchanted with impaling 5 onto this block here. We can start removing these temporary blocks here. Okay. Now let's do the on-off mechanism for the TK. Or actually, let's do it the other way around. Here we have our TK on. Now it's off. Now let's place the on-off mechanism from the AFK spot, which is here. Here. Now normally, if I stand on the pressure plate, the TK should start, like so. And if I step off, it should stop, like so. And this is it. The farm is done. Let's see it in action for a short while. And here we've got our first regen. Already almost 10 minutes of regen. With 40 axolotls, which is the number I used in my other designs, the farm yields about 55 hours of regeneration per hour AFK, along with over 4,000 items and 60 levels of XP. The amount of regen scales up and down quite linearly with the number of axolotls. I tried with 10, which gave me over 12.5 hours of regen, and with 80, which gave me over 111 hours. And as you can see, the numbers climb up really quickly. In the time I needed to say that, we already have over an hour of regen. So as I said in a previous video, these farms have completely changed the way I play the game. I hope it will do the same for you. And that is it for today. Thank you for watching. As usual, if you have questions or comments, please feel free to hit the comment section and I will do my best to reply as soon as possible. Thank you for watching. Bye.